Let's get back to the state visit. And I have to say, in much the same way as J.D. Vance is seen as the harbinger of death for the Pope, could Trump be about to become fatal to Starmer's political career, at least at the top job?
Oh, okay. That would be interesting. What makes you say that? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Washington to Westminster, the ocean-spanning podcast that dares to ask which superpower's government is less functional. I'm Andrea Bridges-Smith, and we're back after a bit of a hiatus with London's own Matt Johnston from The Interesting Times. Matt, the Times keep getting more interesting despite our best efforts. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you, Andrea. I'm doing all right. As are you? I got to say, it's good to be back. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah, something like that. All right. But of course, I'm sure we're going to be talking about Charlie Kirk's murder shortly. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers.
Yes, but it feels like we may want to add one more ingredient because the thoughts and prayers recipe seems to be a bit incomplete if we judge it by effectiveness.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we don't have guns in this country. I think that's been well documented. And we also, people may not know this, tend not to have shootings. Now, I don't know if that's connected. Maybe not. I'm just, you're right, there could be two separate things. Anyway, the news, American shot in America, I'm sorry to say, isn't really big news outside of, well, America, if I'm being honest. Except last Saturday, among the far right, who went on to one of their free speech marches. It was basically an opportunity to be racist, Islamophobic, transphobic, homophobic, I mean, you name it. And they called themselves, without any irony, the Unite the Kingdom March.
Uniting through division. That's a classic approach, yes.
Yeah. I mean, because that's worked so well in the past too, right?
Sure.
At the front of the march is one chap called Tommy Robinson, a particularly nasty individual with a charge sheet as long as a sitting president. There was some 150,000 on the march, so not a small number, and unfortunately indicative of the narrative in this country for as long as I can remember, in all honesty, which is simply fear of foreigners.
Yes.
I mean, yes, there will be those that say that the march was about so much more than that. It was about people being fed up with the Tories and with Labour. Okay. But when you see Tommy Robinson heading it, you kind of know what you're getting into.
Yeah, and I didn't know a lot about this guy, but I get a sense of him when I hear that Elon Musk made an appearance and told people to, quote, fight back or die, which seems just a smidge hyperbolic, not to mention the exact type of thing that's led to several of our shootings in America. These people, they're always telling everyone to fight, and it's like, how specifically do you mean? Can you narrow it down?
Yeah.
Because then later when someone calls them out on it, they're always like, oh, no, I meant fight at the ballot box. And it's like, well, then say vote instead of fight, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Unless you actually do mean fighting at the ballot box. Instead
yes,
of,
which is also
is
possible.
That for Trump? No, you don't. No, you don't. Yes. Well, in fact, Starmer himself has called this the fight of our times, when he's talking about having to stand up to the far right.
Right.
But do these people not possess a dictionary, much like this one?
There we go. It says concise dictionary, but it looks rather lengthy.
Yeah, exactly. It's got concise on the side. It obviously, I didn't get planning permission for the regular size one. So let's see what we got. Because I have actually highlighted, or at least put a bookmark into where fight would be. So the actual dictionary definition of fight is fight, to oppose or struggle against an enemy in battle, to oppose or struggle against a person caused in any manner, to uphold or maintain by fighting or struggling, to make or achieve by fighting, to engage in combat. Most of the stuff there does relate to the fact that you're having a punch-up, basically, doesn't it?
Right. Or over here, shooting.
So again, try and think of another word. Anyway, Andrea, let's talk about America instead, all right, and the horrifying but not surprising murder of Charlie Kirk.
Yes, even for people who are not fans of his, and I definitely include myself in that, this one has felt particularly chilling. I think in large part because the footage was all over social media, like very rapidly. I've heard from a number of people who said that they didn't mean to see it, but they did because it just was everywhere. The same goes for me, actually. That's not something that I would have wanted to ever see, and now I have, and it went, all over the world, because it's a, pretty shocking video. Now this murder has resulted in a number of right-wing figures suddenly urging us all to take the temperature down a notch or 400 after leaving their fingerprints all over the thermostat.
Yeah.
But you know what? I agree with them. We should take things down a notch. If we're going to get an outbreak of civility out of all this, I'll be only too happy to participate, but I'm also not holding my breath.
Yeah, it's a basic equivalent of shitting the bed and then complaining about the smell, isn't it? Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Okay. Okay. Well, it has been interesting as well to see J.D. Vance, the guy who came to Europe to tell us all about the importance of free speech,
Uh-huh.
all of a sudden doesn't see it as so important anymore. I think I saw a clip of him turning around saying, anybody that laughs at this, anybody that makes light of this, you should go after them. Go after. Is that right? Is that the stance that Trump has all of a sudden taken?
Yes, so when liberals were doing cancel culture, the right canceled cancel culture, but now we are bringing back cancel culture. So I would assume it's liberals' turn to cancel culture. It's all very confusing.
Yeah, yeah, not good at all. And to add to that, even as we speak, or indeed as you listen or watch or whenever you're doing that, the president had actually flown to the UK for an unprecedented second state visit. He's going to meet the prime minister. He's going to meet the king. One, people he's not going to meet are the great British public, as clearly Starmer's a bit worried about how that's going to play out. We can be a bit unpredictable when it comes to the orange dope, but not Charlie Kirk unpredictable, you understand, but booing and flying baby Trump like babies unpredictable.
Yes, I heard that there are some people who've managed to project the image of Trump and Epstein onto Windsor Castle, which is terrific. And I also heard that there's a British channel that is just going to broadcast all of Donald Trump's lies, which is journalistically delightful, especially since Trump is suing the New York Times for writing articles about all the bad stuff that he's done.
Yes, and following on from the whole free speech thing, 4 people have been arrested for projecting an image of Trump and Epstein. Yeah, and you're like, is this where we are? Where
Right,
people lose their jobs for saying, for quoting Charlie Kirk after Charlie Kirk has been shot,
right,
or
yeah,
for putting a picture that Trump posed for. This isn't like, superimposed or something.
right.
We know that he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, but as I say, cancel culture is going too far. By the way, for those interested and British, or at least in the UK, the British channel that's going to be broadcasting all of Trump's lies, and hats off to them. That's a real endeavor, isn't it? It will be on Channel 4, and it will be starting at 10 p.m. tonight or last night, again, depending on when you're going to be watching it. And hopefully it'll be finished in time for the next election. But let's get back to the state visit. And I have to say, in much the same way as J.D. Vance is seen as the harbinger of death for the Pope, could Trump be about to become fatal to Starmer's political career, at least at the top job?
Oh, okay, that would be interesting. What makes you say that?
All right, so a quick recap. For those that don't know, been in a coma for the last decade or so. Trump's close friend, ex-close friends? Sure. Jeffrey Epstein was a paedophile and sex child trafficker and connected with a lot of wealthy individuals around the world. Well, Starmer appoints one such individual, Peter Mandelson, to the job of US ambassador. And it's since come out that not only was Mandelson a good friend and spent I mean a lot of time with Epstein, something he says he regrets. He also, it appears, tried to persuade Epstein to overturn the conviction, when
Mm.
it all came out. To be fair, I imagine he also regrets that, or at least regrets that people have found out about it. Anywho, that part, the trying to overturn the conviction part, seems to be the bit that Starmer says, okay, that's it. You're fired.
Okay, but the hanging out with Epstein for several years, that was fine. Okay, good for Starmer for, finally. I was about to say pulling the trigger, but I suppose that idiom
Yeah.
should not be used maybe this week.
Yes. Fired with sacked, shall we say? Sacked. Yes.
Sacked, that's the word.
There we go. So now that would have normally been the end of things, but questions are now being asked about why Starmer thought Mandelson, a man genuinely nicknamed the Prince of Darkness when he was head of the Labour Party's communications, could possibly take on such a pivotal role.
Prince of Darkness sounds like a real charmer at dinner parties.
Yeah, clearly more of a charmer at political parties. Anyway, I have to say the fact that he was on such good terms with Epstein and was apparently Satan's representative on Earth makes him kind of the perfect person to deal with Trump, surely. If anything, he's almost too qualified.
Yes, I hate to see who is going to replace him. Starmer's going to announce our next ambassador to the U.S. is a flaming portal directly to hell. Reception to be held Friday. Now, I'm curious, how did he earn the nickname the Prince of Darkness? That is quite the moniker.
I think it's much like Jack the Ripper, funny enough. I think, I'm not saying he's anything like that, but I think it's the papers that gave him that name. If you've never seen, for all those out there in YouTube land, if you've never seen Peter Mandelson, the best way I can describe it, if you've ever seen Jungle Book, he comes across sometimes as a snake. It's almost like he's hypnotizing you. That snake, and I can't remember the snake's name in the Jungle Book, but yeah, he's got this sort of, he does the rubbing of the hands, and so tell me, what was this? You always get this sense that you're being hypnotized into sort of I don't know what,
Oof.
but he has a certain air about him, which suggests that he knows not only where the bodies are buried, but also who buried them and how many of them are still alive when they were being buried, that sort of thing.
And where he put the shovel. Does he want to be in charge of the Pentagon? Because it sounds like he's right up our alley.
Yeah, well, no doubt. Here's the thing: Trump, by all accounts, got on really well with the guy. I mean, make of that what you will. Anyway, Andrea, any other news from the States?
Well, right now, we are combining two of our favorite things, weapons and a flagrant disregard for international law. So the administration has started blowing up Venezuelan boats that are suspected to be carrying drugs, which is kind of an alternative method to boarding the boats and doing a
Yeah.
search and seeing if there are drugs. That would be a thing you could do. But I want to give you a little quiz here. We've been doing a lot of news quiz on our Monday show, so I was going to see if you could guess correctly. So Trump was trying to justify this decision by citing how many people in the U.S. have died last year from drug overdoses. So, did he say it was A, 100,000, B, 2 million, C, 10 million, or D, 300 million?
Right. Well, I know that there are 300 million people in the US,
Mm-hmm.
but I also know that that wouldn't stop Trump from quoting that as a number. We're all dead. We're all dead. Every single one of us. You can thank Venezuela for that. I do know as well that didn't Pam Bondi come up with a number and she was like laughed out for it, but I don't think I recognize that number there. So here's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to quote the figure. I'm going to say he didn't say 300 million. It comes to something when I'm not sure, right? But I'm going to say 10 million. C, 10 million?
It was D, actually 300 million. So 340 million people in the U.S., scores of them dead from fentanyl. I don't know who these people are in front of me at the grocery store blocking the aisle, but, apparently there's
Wow.
vast wastelands of just fentanyl-riddled bodies out there. No, the actual number is 75,000, which is too many. Too
Yes.
many, not
Yeah.
good. Not sure we should blow up a boat without checking first. But it definitely was not 300 million.
Mm. How have the Venezuelan government reacted to this, or have they?
Well, I would say to use the British penchant for understatement, that relations have grown a bit frosty with Venezuela.
That's, yeah, that's about as far as we can go. There's going to come a point where clearly he's not going to be the president anymore, and people are just going to shit on him left, right, and center, aren't they? Literally, in some cases.
Yes, I imagine that after he does pass, I would assume from some kind of mass coronary, that there will be a lot of cleaning up to do at his grave every day.
All right. So it's been a particularly heavy episode for so many reasons, but
Uh-huh.
we do like to end on something a little bit lighter. That's right, Andrea, isn't it? We do like to leave people with a kind of up, if you like.
It is a comedy podcast. That's the goal.
I do keep forgetting that. I do keep forgetting that. Yes, great. Okay. Now, sports invariably in these cases seems to be our go-to topic,
Woo.
even though, as has been shown time and time again, we are hopelessly out of our depth on these things. But I
Absolutely.
wanted to talk about baseball. In particular, the getting a baseball when it's been hit into the crowd, into the stands.
Okay, great. I'm ready to talk. I've got my Astros shirt on, so I'm a proven expert on all things baseball. People say that to me all the time, so I'm happy to answer your questions.
There we go. All right. So there was a video that went viral where this happened, where basically a ball went into the stands, and this guy went over and grabbed it before anyone else and gave it to his, I'm guessing, son. There was what looked like a family thing going on there. Then a
Uh-huh.
woman came over to him and basically laid into him saying, "Oh, that's my baseball. You took it," etc. All got a bit silly. Anyway, rather than have a confrontation, he gave the baseball back, which was like the best thing he could have done, as his kid ends up getting to meet one of the players, gets to sign baseball and lots of merch, as you Americans call it. Anyway, I'm fascinated to know what are the rules when it comes to keeping baseballs that have been hit into the stands. I mean, are there any?
There's no official rules. It's open season. You're allowed to keep them and take them with you. But the etiquette is that if there is a child present, that you would give the child the ball,
Mm.
even if you were the one that caught it fair and square. And if a child catches it and you take it away from them, just know that that clip will rocket around the internet for the next week, and all your coworkers will hate you from now on.
Well, yeah, I mean, your life, I imagine, wouldn't be worth living, would it? Really, that would be something else.
Yeah, it would not be something you would want to put on your dating profile.
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, I can't imagine you ever getting away. The internet doesn't forget, does it? Really, when it comes to things like that.
No, it has a very long memory. So that's its specialty. So yeah, we all have to be a little bit careful about, how we conduct ourselves in public, because anytime you are a dick to someone in public, it could be happening, on
Mm.
camera. And if you decide to cheat on your spouse and go to a Coldplay concert, that's also an opportunity to be on camera there. So everyone just behave yourselves, all right?
Yeah, yeah, and how hard can it be? Before you send that tweet, step back and ask yourself, do I need to send this tweet?
Exactly. And usually the answer is no. But
Yes.
if it is a picture of a cat, then the answer is yes.
Always. Um, one more question I want to ask with reference to baseball. Does it happen a lot? Do a lot of balls get hit into the stands?
Yes, it happens several times during the course of a game, usually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's plenty.
Yeah.
It's like if you miss one of them, another one's going to come over.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody just chill out about the baseballs. You're bound to
Yeah.
get one sooner
Yes.
or later, and
Or
if
buy a
if you don't.
baseball, rough it up a bit, and tell people that you caught it at a game.
Exactly, they sell them in the gift shop there. Just swing by, grab one of those, put some marks on it, and who's gonna know? Who's gonna know?
Yeah. Exactly. They're going to know if you take it from a kid, though. We've covered that.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you want to see more of Andrea's channel, you're in the right place. Move that cursor down. Just a little more, bit more. There, right. Hit the subscribe and you're done. Now, to get to my channel, there is a video coming out this weekend. Promise. I promise there'll be one out Sunday. But for that, head on over to theinterestingtimes.co.uk. And yes, please do subscribe. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe, and we will see you next week. Take care.
Bye-bye.